Okay, look up the video. Sam Harris just said something weird. It's by Ben Shapiro. I want to make a comment on this, but basically, Sam Harris, I somewhat agree with him, but he basically says, we're very sensitive about vaccines, and if there was such a something that happens, we'll call it the Black Plague, so it isn't so hypothetical. But if something had a 75% death mortality rate and they made a vaccine to where it would take care of it and it's in the body, watch Sam Harris's video on this. I need to skip on through it. But the point I'm going to be making, I need to somewhat, I don't know about apologize, but it's my presentation doesn't really so much answer the question, but it does make you think about it. And you go something like this. Suppose there was that scenario. What happens is this. I don't want to place people in the stupid compared to the intellect, because there are many put this, but I'm going to kind of set it up. But I want to give you some examples as to why I'm setting it up, because I just don't want to give you because obviously there are vaccines that do well, but then there are, I don't want to say religious people who will, no matter what, call it something bad. I don't want to muffle that. But anyways, if you had it separated between, I hate to use the word stupid and smart people, it's like the psychology of the apple does not fall far from the tree. Like, for instance, if a disaster was going to happen so bad, whom then would you wish or to look at a certain situation and get the best from it, even though it's a disaster? You see what I'm saying? So suppose that there are two billionaires and you can just clone them perfectly in life, and a billionaire had $1 billion and, let's say 1 million, and the other one just had $1 billion, and they gave everything away. See, I'm using this as a category of the stupid people, but I'm trying to relieve them a certain type of, not morality, but virtue that could attack me. Okay, and so who would you then rather die? Well, obviously you don't want both of them to die, but you'd rather have, obviously, the person just with $1 billion, not a, I hope I didn't get this backwards, billion, but not the billion and 1 million, because if he just gave away everything, that would have just given more unto society. You see how I'm relieving myself? But then how would this apply to children if they were, again, religious but not stupid? Because I think the religious people would be on board about what Sam Harris said. And it's interesting how Ben Shapiro used the alien aspect, because that's a hypothetical aid too. It's kind of funny he used the alien version, kind of sneaky in there, but that's okay. That's okay. So how would this apply to children then? If children, because people use children in the conversation, and it's okay, Sam Harrison, but it's clever. Well, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. So you're looking at the best case scenario, even though it's a horrible thing. Well, because generally children will adopt a lot of the principles of parents that are oftentimes stupid. Well, at least it's better that a stupid person died. And so that's why I brought the billionaire instead of stupid, though, the billionaire, because you'd rather have that as the opposite. And since it'd be a law, that would relieve me more of the virtue attack back to me of a law, if it were just in law that a children could then have to go by what their parents say. And it's basically the opposite of the scenario. I can't remember the phrase. I'm calling it short. But, even you can find virtuous stuff that Hitler did, and then you can do a comparison of Stalin, and he was still a nice guy, but we all look crappy compared to Mother Teresa, something like that. So the point is even though it's a total disaster, and it relieves me because it would be still law that parents could still choose for the children. And though the apple does not fall far from the tree, at least stupid people would be dying, because if you vaccinate and then these people decide to take it, and these people decide not, those who decided that, like the 75% that Sam Harrison would be talking about, wouldn't get it because they've already been vaccinated. So the stupid people would be dying, and that's a horrible thing. It's even worse for children, but at least, as they say, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, and so it's like, well, at least we're doubling up on a horrible thing, but at least it would still be law, so it would relieve me from the moral obligation about it. I know it sounds horrible, but I hope this makes sense. Thanks, guys.